That's better. Thank you. Right, sorry about all that palaver anyway, everyone. I think we got that out. Babe, you're not really in camera. Do you want to try and...
I'm good, don't worry.
Okay, so obviously, this is mine and Natasha's first ever live. We don't have a clue what we're doing, quite obviously. So hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Bearing with us while we got that sorted.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously I'm Danny Dainty. This is my partner Ben. We started the group, and with us today we've got the wonderful Natasha. Do you want to talk a bit about yourself, Natasha?
Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm pretty new to reptiles. Only been collecting them for 12 months, and this is Alice, who was my first ever reptile to rescue. The beautiful corn snake.
She is lovely, isn't she? I always love all your photos you put up.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Very, very photogenic. And as you can see, they don't stay still.
Whereas here you can see I've got pajamas, and I don't know if you can see Ben's got a polo there, and they've just wrapped around our arms.
Ah, beautiful.
Just chilling, doing their own thing. They're not too bothered.
So yours stay nice and chilled?
Most of the time, yeah. I mean, obviously it's the daytime now and they're nocturnal. So in the evenings when we get them out, we don't normally get them out in the daytime. Normally only the evening. They will be a lot more active then, but still not as near as active as Alice is right now.
Corn snakes are a lot more active throughout the day. They can be nocturnal as well, but they tend to wake up round about, I'd say, dusk time. She won't stay still. As you can see, she's completely tied me up. There's no chance of her staying still at all. She will find somewhere she can go and hide, more than likely. They like to explore, corn snakes. So you can see the
What's your favourite?
Sorry, carry on.
No, you carry on.
I was about to say, you can see the size difference in their bodies already just by how yours is, the royals on your hands, compared to how Alice is on mine.
Yeah, I mean, pajamas is pretty small for a male, to be honest with you. For an adult, to be honest with you. He was a rescue, but if Ben zooms in with Apollo, who's a good size, your typical average, you can see he's definitely got quite a bit of chunk to him. Very strong as well.
See, corn snakes are quite strong. They are quite strong, but not as strong. They tend to just move and tie you up, as you can see. They like to tie us up.
And that is exactly why I'm not sat here with Cosmo.
I don't like holding Cosmo. I'm happy to hold all of the royals, but Cosmo, I don't like it. I just don't feel like I know what to do. He's so long and skinny and stringy and like you said, active.
Yes.
So I find it really hard to control, really. Like,
okay.
He seems to be managed well, but I'll be all over the place, and I end up calling Ben. Hey, get him off me.
See, I find with Alice, it's better with corn snakes to give them something to do, to actually explore. You know, let them go off and explore. Whereas Alice just wants to see what she can see. She just wants to go. If I put her down, she'll go straight away.
They are very curious snakes. Very curious.
So how long can a royal get to? What sort of its length?
A male will typically get between 4 and 5 foot, but the females can get. How big do females get?
Females get a little bit bigger, you know, more.
They're not much,
towards sort of, you know, 5, maybe push 6 foot, I'd say, but that would be quite big, to be honest.
Yeah. Like we've got our willow, we've only got one adult female willow, and she's a good 5 foot, but she's an absolute chunk. She's massive.
See, this one here, Alice, she is about 5'4", we reckon. Taken away.
And how old?
So Alice is 9 years old now. She was a rescue. They put her into a rescue because they just didn't have the time for her anymore. But she's very, very sweet. We've been working on head shy. See, the thing with royals, correct me if I'm wrong, royals tend not to be as head shy, do they?
It depends on the individual that you work with them, to be honest. They can be quite head shy. These guys, as you can see, every time when I handle these, even Apollo's shying away from me now, as you can see, but I always try to make sure I touch the head, or at least touch somewhere near the head, just to really keep reassuring them and sort of teaching them that it's nothing to worry about. But yeah,
I think typically if you get them from hatchlings and, you know, you work with them, you can get there. You can get most of them to the point where they're not too head shy. But if you get in one that's, you know, grown on a bit and hasn't been worked with, then it's going to be harder to snap it out of that habit, as with everything, I suppose, really.
Willow, our biggest and eldest, she's very, very head shy, even though she's absolutely brilliant with people. Nobody's ever bothered putting the work in to make her confident around.
So you recommend them with royals?
She'll shy away.
So you recommend with royals then it's a really good thing to constantly work with them on their heads and keep them from being that head shy?
I do. I mean, I try not to make a big deal out of it. You know, if they really don't want me touching their head, obviously I'm not going to stress them out, but I always try to touch them in the head area regularly.
See, corn snakes are a little bit different. They tend to be a bit more head shy. Alice, however, she's, as you can see, she's not that head shy. She quite likes a little stroke on the head and a little stroke on the chin.
She doesn't seem bothered by it at all, does she?
No, not at all. Not at all. Corns are very, very, very placid when it comes to handling. They don't mind, just as long as you're moving with them. They don't. Oh, where she goes? She's about to choke me out now. No, and thanks to the tail. Yeah, see, yeah, here I'm about to die on camera, more than likely now. Don't mind me. But yeah, no, corn snakes, just as long as you give them something to do, they're quite good. I actually prefer corn snakes to royals, although I own both.
And I prefer corns.
So
I prefer royals to corns, but my first snake was a corn. You know, it's
corns are fantastic starters for anybody that wants one, like is thinking of getting into snakes. Excuse me. Yeah.
There was going to look on and see what comments we got. If you want to just talk to Tash for a minute, babe.
Yeah.
I'm just going to look at our chats while comments while you two chat.
Cool. Corn snakes don't believe in personal space, as you can see. There is no such thing as personal space.
Yeah. I said about the corns being very inquisitive as well. Like, obviously having both, I see massive differences in the personalities. Cosmo, he'll always come to the glass, see what I'm up to, ask to come out. Whereas the royals, on the other hand, you know, if I want to handle these guys 9 times out of 10, I'll have to go and pick a hide up to get to them. You know, and that is a massive difference in the personality, especially daytime.
See, I find with corns, I just tend to let Alice's Viv open and she will let herself out.
Yeah.
She will tell me when she wants to come out. Now, what's the difference in food? Because I know we both have corns and royals, but what sort of food do you feed your snakes? Is it mice, rats?
You know, that's a bit of a controversial one, because I heard a lot of things when I first started keeping, that mice weren't too good for royals because of the high fat content, and you know, they should be avoided and things like that. And doing further research into it, it actually doesn't seem to be too much the case that it is too bad for royals to have the odd mouse now and again. And you know, we tend to feed rats just because it's easy. We've got Boss Rat just up the road from us. Occasionally we'll give them multi-marmates as a treat.
So that's the difference between a corn and a royal.
The only real difference, I suppose, is the size.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, we've even started giving our corn snakes the odd rat now as well. You know?
Yeah, and a rat for a corn snake isn't too bad, although they're much fattier for a corn snake, and that's why they recommend mice or malties or even day-old chicks for corns. You can even feed a corn a little quail egg, crack it open and let them drink the quail egg. And they quite enjoy one of those as well. Yeah. You can take the, oh, hello, gorgeous. You can take the top off and, and they will actually drink out of them, a corn snake, whereas I've never known a royal to do that. So corn snakes can definitely have a little bit more, can't you? I suppose you live up to your name, corns, quail eggs, nice. She's calming down now, see? The thing with the corns as well, the more you've had them out, the longer you've had them out, they will find somewhere very comfy. As you can see, she's attached herself to my neck and my arm, and she will just chill there for a bit now. and watch what we're doing, won't you?
As you can see, but
Corn
Thomas
snakes.
has been sat on my hand the whole time. He's not moved. He flicked his head
See,
around a
whereas
little bit, but
you guys are constantly moving, you guys are staying still with yours. I'm constantly wrestling with Alice. It's the complete difference. Corn snakes do not stay still. There she goes.
let's do the
Very
other one as
long.
well. Like, obviously, me and Tasha's got me and Ben are sat, and we've got our snakes right next to each other, and they're not in the slightest interested in each other. What are corns like if they're in close proximity?
They're exactly the same. You can have quite a few of them multiple together, and they will just get on with it. I can have my corn snake and my royal white together, believe it or not, and Alice isn't interested in the slightest. She's not bothered.
Funny, but we got one of our boas. Sorry, I know I'm going off topic here. We got one of our boas, and his previous keeper used to have him with the royals, and they never had no issues either. In fact, he said he found them several mornings. I've got photos. Finding our massive boa
Wow.
huddled up with the royal. No, I wouldn't recommend that to anyone watching, just to put that out there.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah.
Also,
No,
another thing I'd like to touch
exactly.
on
I
as
was
well
about to say,
is
I
you were
wouldn't
saying that, you know,
recommend
it's okay
holding too many
royals out
snakes
next
or
to
putting
each
too
other
many
and
snakes in
keep
together.
corns out next to each other. I don't in any way mean to say that you know that we support cohabiting or anything like that in any way. I would highly not.
I was about to say,
recommend that.
I would never ever hold both of my snakes together at the same time. If I have them both out at the same time, I have somebody else holding one and I'm holding the other. It's just for safety.
Definitely.
Just for a bit of safety, because I don't know what either one's going to do. You showing you like chin rubs.
So
She likes
if we go back to the feeding,
she's showing
I
her
suppose
chin rubs. Oh, chin
I've got the
rubs.
same going on my pajamas here. Back to feeding,
Yeah.
the main obvious difference is the fact that royals are renowned for not eating. They go on hunger strikes. Now, strikes are completely avoidable, really. You can resolve it with just some quick environmental changes. Maybe they need more clutter, maybe their temps have dropped or their sensors come out of place, or, you know, quite often there is a simple answer for it. But what about corns when they go on? Well, I know they don't often go on hunger strikes.
I
what about
have
them?
every bit of research I've ever done before I even got her. They don't go off food. They are little rubbish bins, basically. If you've got some that they can eat, spare, as like you've defrosted a mouse and one of yours hasn't taken it, you can chuck it into a corn snake. Alice is a bit of a pig. She will eat a cheese boy, a mouse, a jumbo mouse. She eats every 14 days. But straight after eating one, she will actually be on the hunt for more.
Yeah.
Corn snakes don't know when to stop eating. They will eat and eat and eat.
Swallowing it before you've even let it go. Tongues.
Sorry, I missed that one. Crazy snakes, aren't they?
Yeah, we found.
But yeah, no, corn snakes never ever. She's never missed a meal. Even in full blue, even as she's shedding, she will still take a mouse. Not a problem at all. I've never known her to refuse.
Royals that will eat even when they're in full blue, haven't we?
Yeah, not this little one though.
Yeah. But we do have most of our royals are rather shy with their eating. They will take it and, you know, as soon as they've struck it, they'll drag it into their hide and eat it rather than eating out in the open.
Alice is much different. Alice will just eat it there and then in front of you. I think Alice is one of those that if I had a mouse on my hand, she would most probably eat it off of my hand.
Yeah.
They are just absolute rubbish bins.
We're finally starting to move around.
You see the difference in their heads as well. Alice has got this tiny little head with no heat pits. Just her little nostrils.
She's got a beautiful little face.
She's got a gorgeous face. Whereas yours... See, yours has got heat pits. So after you've had your royals out for a bit and they've warmed up and woken up, do they start to get more active then?
It
depends on the mood. You know, we've got quite a few different royals and they're all different. There's some that will find a nice little quiet space and curl up and hide, and that's their personality. And then we've got others like this one, you know, he's been a little fidget the whole time I've had him on me. I put him around my neck where he's nice and warm. There you go. One happy snake.
Obviously, it depends on the time of day as well. Like, you know, as we've already brushed on, they are nocturnal, so holding them in the daytime, which I don't really recommend anyone hold them in the daytime, to be honest. We're doing it for the purpose of this video, but you want to try and keep to their natural cycle, and if you're going to get them out in the evenings. I'm just going to wrap him around me to free me up a minute as well.
See, can't do that with corn snakes. You try and do that with a corn snake, it will crawl off you and go. So you've got to hold them sort of like this. You've got to get them twisted up around one hand, so they pretty much stay there, really.
Pretzeled.
You knot them up. You turn them into pretzels so they can't move. They're fantastic children's pets, though. My children can handle Alice very well.
Yeah. To be fair, Caden's real good. He's got his own royal as well. He's got a little albino. And literally, Trifle, he will just sit around him. You know, you haven't got to worry. He's just sit around Caden's neck. He'll let Caden, you know, hold him and stroke him and stand up and walk around with him. Or, you know, he's just not bothered. They're just so chilled. You don't really have to put too much time into.
So what sort of temperatures do you need for them then? What's their temperature range?
We keep our hot ends at 90, and then the rest of the Viv goes between generally 80 and 70. Obviously, during the warmer weathers at the moment, we're quite struggling to keep the temperatures down. Like, our whole house is averaging at about 80 at the moment. What about? Sorry, I'm being strangled here. What about Alice?
So Alice, I keep her hot end anything between 28 and 30 degrees. I don't do mine in Fahrenheit, mine's in degrees. And then her cold side is down to about 23. But like you, I'm finding it very hard at the moment to balance her temperatures out all the way through her Viv. So I've actually turned her thermostat down a tiny little bit just to sort of compensate for that extra heat that's out and about at the moment. Although the thermostat does most of the work for me, controlling the temperatures, I find just adjusting it a tiny little bit's enough. Alice tends to spend most of her time in her cold side. She prefers to be on the colder side of the temperatures, more than the hotter side. She will use her hot side, but only for 48 hours after she's eaten. And it is exactly 48 hours in her hot side, and then she comes out. And she will poop exactly 48 hours after eating. And then she knows it's handling time once she's pooped. Don't you?
See, we're very hit and miss. We've got pajamas here who's, well, like yours really, like Alice. He goes every 3 days. That's standard. But then we've got like Apollo. He only goes to the toilet when he's shed. There's such a difference between them all, you know. There's no. I mean, we've got how many royals have we got? 9.
So, yeah, I think it's 9. Yeah.
I think 9 royals, and literally all of their toilet habits are completely different. It's just very, you know, a lot of them are at the same stage. We obviously feed them at the same time. They've got relatively the same setup, haven't they? They're obviously at the same temperatures. They receive the same care, yet their toilet and habits and their own habits as well, you know, when they're active, are completely different. They're more unique than people like to give them credit for, really, aren't they? You hear a lot about snakes not having personalities, but they do. They absolutely do.
Yeah, I mean, before I got into keeping Alice, I've never held a snake before. This was like my first ever snake ever. And I didn't quite understand reptiles. But then after owning her, I understand them a bit better. And like you said, they have personality. Like, I'm sure there's not another one out there like this snake. And I'm sure there's not another one like yours. You know, they all have a unique personality, and you've just got to get to know that and understand that.
Sorry, guys, I'm just being killed.
And I think once you learn your snake, you can pretty much do anything with it. It will begin to trust you. You know, it's all about that respect, that mutual respect. Alice knows that I respect her, and she knows I'm not going to drop her. And I think that she respects me.
the day you learn to read your snake's body language is the day you've got a bond for life with that snake, because they,
Yes, I
you know,
completely agree with that, and I completely agree. And that snake will learn to trust you as well, completely. I mean, she knows that no matter what she does, I'm not going to let go of her.
yeah.
I think confidence comes into play a lot as well. Like if you haven't got the confidence to be handling that snake
Yeah.
is not going to be confident with you handling it as well.
And
A
that's
lot
why
of
I think
people don't realise,
that's why I
you
think
know.
royals are better. Not royals. I think corns are better for starters, like people who are really nervous. You know, I find with a corn you're less likely to get bit than you are with a royal.
See, I don't agree, because like Cosmo's got a very fast feed response, hasn't he?
Yeah.
His feed response is quite aggressive, and he might not intending to hurt. There's not a malicious bone in his body, but you know, if he thinks that he's getting fed, he will nip at you. You know, and you might be just trying to top his water up, or you know, spot pick his poo or whatever else. But whereas we don't have that with the corns, when you go into their vivs, they're gonna hide away and let you do what you got to do. They're gonna come. Sorry, yeah. When you go into the royals, they're going to go into their hide. They're not even going to peep out at you. You know, you can clean them, you can change their water bowls, you can move things around, you can, you know, spot clean and get all their poos out, and you're not even going to see them unless you go to them, you know, and you initiate that contact.
So I suppose that's the difference then between a social snake and a antisocial snake. Would you say royals are more antisocial? Yeah. So like people say royals are pet rocks, don't they?
I think shy is more the right word than antisocial. You know, antisocial implies that they don't enjoy human interaction, and I think to a certain degree, in a lot of cases they do, but they just got that initial, you know, when you disturb their environment, that their initial instinct is to go, oh, I don't know what that is, I'm going to hide it. You know, and that's built into them. They live in, you know, in the wild. They come from termite mounds where they spend their lives hidden away in dark little holes, and that's the sort of environment that we've got to try and simulate for them when we keep them in captivity, you know.
Yes.
Whereas the corns, they are a lot more out in the open. They're out exploring the ground, the trees. You know, they're sort of active hunters instead of like the ambush predators that royals really are. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't know. I
Am I
think
making
corns
any
can be
sense?
quite ambush hunters when they want to be. I mean, Alice is absolute perfect at ambushing. She will sneak up on me from any place in the Viv to get her cheese boy, and sometimes you don't even know where she's coming from. I think corns have. I personally think corns have a very very aggressive feeding response. I very rarely hear of a corn that takes their food very gently.
Yeah,
See, the good thing about corns is once you wear them out and they find somewhere comfy.
And same for royals.
They just chill out eventually, corns, once you calm them down. Yep. They find somewhere comfy and they go, oh, I've done my exploring. I'm safe. There's nothing to eat. I'm going to sleep. So going back to the care that they require, what sort of humidity do you keep your royals then with? Because they need a lot more humidity than corns, don't they?
Well, this again is another very conflicting subject out there with corns. A lot of people are led to believe that, sorry, I keep saying corns, copying you. A lot of people are led to believe that royals need high humidity all the time. They don't. They only actually need that humidity when they're coming into shed to obviously help them shed. The rest of the time, their humidity
50 to 60 is ideal. 50 to 60, you know, general day to day.
I'd say 40 to 50 day to day, and then 50 to 70 when they're coming into shed, to be honest.
Definitely more towards the 60, 70, yeah.
But yeah, like a lot of people overcomplicate their humidity requirements. They haven't got that. And in fact, just like with a corn, if you're going to keep their humidity high too often, they're going to be open to getting scale rot and respiratory infections.
Yeah.
You know, the same that other drier species are.
Yeah, corns tend not to need so much humidity. With a corn, you don't have to worry about it. You can literally just give them normal standard room humidity. I mean, Alice has never had a bad shed. She's always had a perfect shed. And I keep her humidity roughly about between 34 and 40%. I keep hers at, and that's just doing nothing. That's just a water ball in her viv, letting the natural humidity do its thing, and that's all you need, really.
What substrate do you keep her on?
So I keep Alice on Aspen, but I've tried other things, and the only one that I found that she actually enjoyed to burrow in was Aspen. Aspen, a lot of people find it dusty, but I find if you air it out for a few days before you actually use it, it's not that dusty. I mean, it holds its tunnels. It's fantastic. It masks smell, so you don't get that horrible stenchy smell in there sometimes. But she enjoys her Aspen. I've never had a problem with her like digesting any Aspen and her getting impacted or anything like that. It just goes straight through her. She's just never had any problem with it. I have considered changing her over to other things. But no, we've stuck with Aspen now, and it seems to work. You're waking up again now, aren't you? You want to go again?
Cosmo, I just wondered if you.
For our royals, we're not too fussy, are we? We've done forest floor, that worked absolutely fine. We've done ultra bark, that worked absolutely fine. And we're about to swap over and use a mixture of organic soil and bark for them, just because we want to create a bit more of a natural environment, really. We also tend to top our corns with, a lot of leaf litter and branches and stuff. But I said corns again, didn't I? Sorry, our royals. But again, I find for royals, there's a lot that works, to be honest with you. As long as you keep up the humidity, you're all right. Like, people use cocoa husk and all sorts, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, corns do really well in bioactive as well. Corns actually, you can put a corn into bioactive really easily, and they do really, really well in it. They don't eat your cleanup crew or anything like that. They just, they do all right. Just find somewhere comfy.
We're going to be putting a small amount of cleanup crew in with these lot when we move over to the soil and that. I've heard a lot of good stories as well about royals in bioactive, to be honest. Apparently a lot of the time, if they're not active or if they're not eating very well, simply moving them into a bioactive enclosure can really, bring that on. Loads of people report their colours changing as well, coming out a lot more bright and vibrant, which I suppose would be due down to the lighting largely. But it's definitely something we want to do. We're going to do it step by step, aren't we? We don't want to just, out and outright change everyone, because we want to make sure,
Talking of lighting, what sort of lighting do you use for your royals then?
We throw there. Lighting, we don't have any lighting in with our royals. Like, we've got them in the reptile room, and it's already a bright room. But we use ceramic heaters for them. At the moment, they have no lighting. However, I'm thinking about trialing a couple on some UV bulbs.
Okay.
I haven't decided who yet. I think pajamas here is probably going to be one of our first little trials on that. Obviously, they don't need the UV, and there's a lot of debate out there about it. Some people have reported that once you've given them corns again, their royals, once you've given them light, then that they refuse to come out. I've heard some saying once they've been given light, then they've been aggressive. I've heard a lot of negative stories on it as well, to be honest. But there's always going to be, two sides to every story, and I've read a lot more positive than I have negative. And I think you've just got to do it in the right way, haven't you? You've got to make sure they've got plenty of shade areas and, places they can go to. Do it slowly. I know I was talking to someone the other day, and they were on about putting a 12% UV in a royal. Like, if you're going to do something like that, then of course it's going to cause issues.
Okay.
Yeah. If you go UV, it's got to be very minimal, hasn't it?
Yeah, you want like 4, 5, 6% really.
Yeah.
And again, if they're out, then obviously their skin's going to be more sensitive, their eyes are more sensitive, so you want to drop down lower again. I at this point don't think I'm going to do any of mine that have got the albino gene in any lighting, to be honest with you. That's my personal That's a bad
So going back to, like you said, there's lots of debate about whether in fact, all snakes need whether UVB or not. I chose with Alice to go down the UVB route.
It's not really
but
about
because
whether they
Alice,
need it,
yeah, with Alice is, because she's got red eyes, so she's classed as an albino, I suppose, although she is a snowmore. So with her, I chose to go for a very, very low UVB because I didn't want the UVB to damage her eyes. So she's actually only on a 6% UVB, and she'll stay on a 6%. But I've done that with her because she's had UVB since the day she was hatched, from what I was told. So I've continued that. But like you said, there's lots of debate whether or not they need it. I know lots of people who shared their success stories with corns who don't have any UVB at all, and those corns have flourished and done perfectly fine. Whereas I know people who've got UVB and their corns don't ever come out. You know, their corns stay hid away. I think it's just about finding what's right for your snake. Some snakes might respond better to a bit of UVB, some might not. It really, really does just depend. You like a bit of UVB,
absolutely.
don't you? You do. The only problem with having UVB is you must remember to change your bulbs every 12 months. Because they don't work.
Oh, we've lost Natasha. She's gone.
Oh no! I'm still here. Are you still there? Yay, we're back. Woo!
No, you here. You froze.
So did you. You guys froze. You guys froze. You just froze just still.
Logged onto the laptop, Natasha. Look.
That's what I've done. I've logged off the laptop.
Tash, our audience are viewing us sideways.
Are they? Oh yeah, yeah. On my laptop, we're sideways as well.
I do apologise, guys. That's got to be right.
Everyone's gonna be sat there like this, leaning over to the side, trying to watch us.
Everyone.
Yeah, if anybody is watching, just sit upright.
Absolutely open to questions you may have. I have been coming on and checking the comments. If you've got anything to ask, you know, whether it's about us or our reptile keeping, or obviously corns or snakes, please do drop your questions in there. I am keeping my eyes peeled and watching out for you.
Me too. I'm keeping an eye. Any questions, please feel free to ask.
I can't believe we've been going for so long.
I know.
Our first comment was half an hour ago. What time is it? I thought this would be like 10 minutes.
That was our one viewer. They switched on and went, oh crap, me too. These three, I'm going. See you later.
Viewer, make yourself known. Thank you.
Give us a little high five, a little thumbs up. Let us know you're watching.
Down on their side.
Yeah, everyone's still bent over. They haven't managed to type yet. So what sort of weight are your royals at then? Because they look, as I said, compared to Alice, they're a hell of a lot more beefier.
Yeah. Well, Pajamas here, when I last weighed him was, what was it? 1,400 grams? I'm not sure what Apollo is. What's Apollo?
He was sitting somewhere around the 1,900, I think. But he went on a little wee hunger strike for a little while.
Hi, Mark.
Lost a little bit of weight.
Mark, I can see you there. Have you got any questions? Oh, it's not Mark. Who just come in then? Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Carry on, Boo.
I wasn't saying much, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, it's Graham. I am here, being the cast on the TV. Oh, thank you for sticking with us, Graham. We appreciate it.
Just lie on your side, Graham, and watch the TV on the side. And just watch us from the side. It's fine. You going up? Where are you going?
Oh, wow.
That's it. Alice is now waking back up. She's had a little rest, and now she's waking back up and is going to go for it now.
I think Pajamas is just starting to wake up and get quite fidgety now. He's also got my hair, which isn't comfortable.
Yeah.
So what haven't we covered? We've gone through humidity, we've gone through eating, we've gone through cohabiting. I suppose their enclosure, their actual setup.
Yes, their enclosures. So Alice is in a 4x2x2.
So we have all of our royals, apart from this monster here. Yeah. Okay, I think we've got some interference here. We're not syncing well. Wow, look how far behind it is.
Yeah, my laptop's much different to what I'm watching on the phone right now.
Yeah.
Much different.
What's going on?
It's Facebook.
Oh, it's nice to know Clyde's having daddy snuggles. Thank you, Graham. I love Clyde. Oh, Clyde, he's a bell. He's absolutely bell.
Yeah, Alice is just gonna kill me a second.
Sorry, I cut off there. I realised that something was well, I don't know. We weren't syncing time. I don't think we are still.
You made this soft.
So we have our corns our royals in 4-foot bibs. We've already gone over the substrate we use, but we tend to have a hide. Obviously, you've got to have your warm hide and your cool hide so they can choose what temperatures they want to be in. But additionally to that, they need a large water bowl that they can fully soak in, particularly when they're coming around their shed, coming into shed. That's really important for royals.
Okay.
Now we've got some who will never go in their water bowls, like Polo. But then I've got Cypress, my albino, who pretty much lives in his water bowl. Like, he doesn't use the hide. He sleeps in his water bowl. He eats in his water bowl. You know, there's a lot of difference. But on top of that, we tend to try and do a lot of climbing stuff, don't we? We put a lot of sticks in. As I've said, a lot of leaf litter. Cork bark. Cork bark is just absolutely, I think for any reptile, cork bark is just the best thing. You know, I absolutely love cork bark. But what about, what do you use for enrichments and stuff for Alice?
So I just use lots of flowers, plants, she loves her fake plants and she loves climbing. So parrot bridges I find work wonderful. Parrot ropes work brilliant for Alice. So she can wrap herself all around them. She's got her cork hides. Again, I love cork hides. Yeah. I think cork hides are amazing for all reptiles. Wood hides, I love wood hides as well. Anything as natural as possible. I think, yeah, if you're going to keep these animals, you have to try and recreate it as their natural environment as much as possible. I mean, Alice, I'd love to put Alice into a much bigger viv because she's well over 5 foot, so she could do with a better size viv, really. And I think she would benefit from a bigger viv. So what else have you got? You've got your plants, haven't you? Like corns love to make tunnels. That's part of their enrichment. So giving them a good chunk of substrate to make their tunnels through is really important with them. They love to burrow. They don't hide in their burrows. They just love to create tunnels. I mean, when I take her water dish out to fill it back up, you can see the network of tunnels that she's created. There she goes. Where's she going?
Like little
yeah,
subways.
so we just, and then for enrichment, it's lots of.
Make me laugh as well because Cosmo would be like, his tail's one bit. You can't see off his head somewhere completely different.
Yeah, lots of, Alice likes to play on the stairs as well. She loves to play on the stairs. She loves to explore, loves to go around people.
See, when we let our royals off to, you know, free roam for a couple of minutes, they will typically try and find somewhere dark to curl up and hide. You know, that's definitely the difference. Like I wouldn't even dream of letting Cosmo have that bit of free roam time. I just wouldn't. Obviously, we're with them guys. We don't just leave them and whatever. We stay with them, but I will put them on the floor and let them climb around or climb up the stair, or you know, it's good for them to have that exercise and a different environment to explore for a little bit. But yeah, you would just go down the back of the sofa if you had your way, wouldn't you?
Pretty much the same as Corns then. Alice would find somewhere to go and hide until she felt safe, and then she'd explore. She just likes to find somewhere to go and then watch from wherever she is. Where are you going? Oh, where are you going? Right.
Okay.
Right up there.
Oh, Here we go.
Oh, here we
we
go. Look, Alice, it's a potential boyfriend. Alice, look, potential boyfriend. Potential boyfriend, Alice. That's it. He's like, no. Corns do this. They like to stick their little tails in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's stuck this little tail up my nose more than enough
I'm
time.
sorry, I jumped through the deep end.
So you go, anyone watching, you can see there's really no interest between the two different species. Obviously, we wouldn't have them living together. We wouldn't have them unattended together. We wouldn't hold them, you know, I wouldn't be holding a corn and a royal at the same time. They are obviously being with separate people, but they really do not care, to be quite honest with you. They're not interested in one another any more than they're really interested in us. Isn't it, dude?
They just want to go on their way.
I
Find
love
a hole
can you
to
see all
curl up in.
pajamas freckles? I don't know if you can see
I
them, but
love
every
them,
time he
look.
sheds.
I would show you
so much
Alice's
more.
markings, but she's kind
We've
of
also got Daddy.
stuck on me. She's almost a fluorescent, but you can see her little yellow. She is a snow, but she's like a really high white snow.
I've never known this guy want to get away from the public eye so much. He's trying to hide.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite impressed with Alice. She's being quite well behaved. She's stayed on me long enough. Normally she's trying to get off me to go. She doesn't want to. She wants to explore.
Nope, give me an armpit. That's it. That is just exactly it, Graham.
There's no give me. Yeah, see, corns aren't. They're like, give me a neck I can hang off of, so I can stroke. I can choke my human.
Yeah.
And corns tend to use this little tail that they've got.
Sorry?
I said corns tend to use this little tail, this thing here. They use this an awful lot and like to wiggle it around. They use it almost like a little lure.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Okay.
Yes,
And
like a little lure.
oh, sorry.
So if you
What?
if you had to choose between a corn or a royal, then which one would you pick?
For
Which
me,
one would
it's
you
a
want?
royal every time.
Yeah.
For me, absolutely a royal every time. My first snake was a royal. In fact, all of my snakes are royals until recently. For me personally, as I said, corns, I'm just not very comfortable with handling them as I am a royal. They're not as chilled, and yeah, it's great that they you don't really so much have the worries of the food. But I don't have many of my snakes going off food. It's very rare that any of our royals miss a meal, even if they're in blue. So you know the whole that I believe that's a topic a lot of people get worried about with royals is the fasting, but that's not something we've experienced too much really. And yeah, the food response for me with a corn is just where I'm not the most confident. The food response is too quick for me. Look, I will feed Cosmo. I do feed him, but I'm definitely more confident with the royals. But then that's what I've always had, I suppose.
Just for anybody as well who's a little, unsure on the actual size difference in the bodies, remembering that pajamas here is quite small for a male.
Yeah, definitely. You can see like pajamas is.
You can see the difference in the
4 or 5
And how old your corn snake then?
I think he's about 3. I got him probably a year, maybe 18 months ago. And I was told he was only young. He was around about 2, so he might be sort of 3-4 years old by now. I think he's still got a little bit of growing to do, this young lad. He's quite a scrawny little thing. I've seen some corn snakes get considerably heavier bodied than
I'm
this,
with you
I
on that,
suppose.
Graham.
Yeah,
But
Alice weighs about, I think the last time I weighed her, she was just under 800 grams, which is quite a good weight for her. My vet keeps telling me not to let her put on too much weight.
Yeah.
When I got her, she was a little bit.
sometimes, because it's quite tempting to give them whatever gets wasted with another snake or whatever. You
Yes.
know, just be careful with that. Don't overfeed them, because they will eat anything you put in front of
Oh,
them.
yeah.
You do unfortunately see a lot of weight corns around, don't you? I don't
Yeah,
think
that's
that with them anymore.
that's one of the biggest things with corns is a lot of
I've
people
all
think,
got-
oh, my corn's out hunting again, so it needs feeding again. But really, actually, they don't. They are just very, very, very greedy snake that will eat absolutely anything that's put in front of them. So you know, we have to make sure that they don't get fat and that they get plenty of exercise. Isn't that right, Alice? Look, that tail. I love it when this tail's wiggling around. Little wiggly tail.
And they use it to hold on as well. I think that's really cute.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose with the body, it's not just that corns are longer and skinnier though. Royals are obviously their muscle. You can feel their muscles moving as they move along you, which I find that's really relaxing for me. If I'm stressed or whatever, I put them around my neck and just feeling their muscles. It's almost like a massage. But with corns, you don't feel any of that muscle. You don't feel any of that tension with them, do you? They're very stringy to hold.
Yes. Yeah, they're more like,
Comparison.
I find when Alice is like moving around on me on bare skin, it's different to how my Royal feels. She's very much, she is more like a bit of string being tied around you and pulled tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit like a noose when she gets around your neck and holds on. They do hold on really tight, mind. They are really quite strong when they want to be. I've had a few instances where I haven't been able to get her off of my neck. Corns love hair as well. They absolutely love going in hair. This is Alice's favorite.
Again, I think that's a reptile thing. It is.
I don't have that problem.
They wrap around your face.
Right.
Yeah. So what about climbing then? Like, obviously, a lot of people say, you know, royals are not climbing species, you know, but they are. We find a good half, even more than our royals, will climb a lot. What about corns?
Oh, corns do. Corns climb. Alice loves climbing.
It's not matching up, is it?
She's always climbing around something. Always climbing up something. Climbing on a bridge, climbing up a head, climbing around somebody's shoulders. She's always climbing. And corns are stupid. You have to catch them. They are just a little bit on the silly side. You're going, you're so warm now, aren't you? The thing with corns is once they warm up as well, that's it. They're well awake. I can't believe we've been going for an hour. A whole hour. It's crazy. Keep losing the sound.
I can't believe we've been here that long.
I know.
I think
A
we've
whole hour.
covered everything.
We've gone through what they eat, their humidity, their...
but
yeah.
I think we've gone over a bit, and hopefully, it's really annoying, isn't it?
If anybody has any questions, yeah, same for me. I mean, if anybody has any questions, more than welcome to drop us any questions at any point. It's fine. Oh, sorry, Graham.
I can't believe we've been sat here for this long. Graham, thank you so much for sticking the whole hour. You go and get that pint.
Yeah, go. Thank you for sitting tilted on the side like this for a whole hour.
A pint on Father's Day. I grab a half, Graham.
She's actually choking.
Anyway, I'm gonna log out. Graham,
yeah, me too, because Alice is actually choking me.
And watched, thank you for your support. Natasha and Alice, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, you're most
sorry
welcome.
I promised you a 10-minute video. Might have that.
One of these every week. Come on, God.
One of these every week. I do apologise, but no. But we're looking at, my plan is, if this one goes well, we get a good feedback from it. Maybe once a month do different species comparisons, or we might do other stuff. I don't know. It's for you guys. You know, you tell us what you want. answering questions. But every week's probably not going to happen. Definitely not for an hour.
Definitely not.
This is only meant to be 10 minutes.
I'm meant to be cooking meatballs for dinner.
You better move.
Right, guys, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
Take care.
we'll
Thank you.
speak soon.
Bye.
Bye.